Hey, you guys, welcome to the stream. Give me just a second, get everything setting up so you guys can see me. Whoa, I left the wrong thing on. You guys, I'm just getting adjusted to this stream, so bear with me. Welcome to the stream. I had ending soon on there, I guess, from yesterday. I know I'm going to be talking a lot, so I got to get hydrated. Can everyone hear me well? Can everyone see me well? A few things that I want to point out before we get started. This is not a hate stream. We are not here to bash anyone. Someone coming in that is a follower of Katie's, a fan of Katie's, please listen to the stream before you make any judgment calls, before you decide that we're just here to bash Katie. That is not the purpose of the stream. That's not what I ever intend to do. I have a personal history with Katie. If you care to look into that, there are links in the description box below that actually tells what happened between me and Katie and why we don't get along. But I still try not to bash her. I just have told my story about what took place, which was my right to do. Also, there's links in the description box below that explain why there are so many people that don't agree with what Katie does as a YouTuber. There's a Reddit with like over 13,000 people that used to be her followers, her moderators, people that knew her in real life, that used to be her friends, that speak out against her. And I really try not to do that. Do I need another light? I actually do have to change some of my lights out. I'm glad you said something, David. I'll get Sean to do that today. But, you know, I do know there are internet trolls. Those do exist. I have those as well. You know, people that just stop on my page randomly and leave something nasty for no reason. Say that I'm stupid because I'm a Southerner, you know, because of the way that I talk. Trolls do exist. To the extent that Katie claims, no, those are people that used to be followers of her, that used to be members of her, that used to be her moderators, that she has hurt, that she has attacked, that she has name called, that she has doxed, that now speak out against her. This is just not, you know, a bunch of people for no reason at all talking about Katie. That's not what it is. And my hair is really killing me. So I really gotta, the flyaways. I'm sorry, you guys. So we are going to listen to this, but I'm asking if you're coming in as one of Katie Joy's followers, please take the time to listen to this stream. Go to the description box below, click on those links, watch those videos, and then you will have a better understanding of why so many people dislike Katie and speak out against her. Also, there was something else that I was going to say. Oh, also ask yourself why so many people do have a problem with her. It's not us. It's not us just being mean. I try not to speak out about Katie that much. The reason I'm actually doing this stream is because I do cover reality TV news and gossip. I cover the Chrisley family. I covered the Chrisley family before Katie Joy had any involvement with that family. I had talked about, you know, them being arrested. I talked about them turning themselves in. I talked about them wanting to take the trip after their arrest and having to get it approved by the judge. I covered the Chrisleys before Katie Joy had any involvement with them and was in litigation with them. So it actually makes sense for me to cover it. So anybody that's going to come on here and say, why are you talking about her? I actually cover the Chrisleys. My channel is reality TV news and gossip. Lindsie Chrisley is a reality TV star. So it actually makes perfect sense. I do have a history with her. So yeah, there you go. We're going to go ahead and get into it, you guys. Now, before we listen to what Lindsie and her lawyer has to say, Lindsie pulled a little bit of a joke on Nanny Faye, and we're going to listen to that. If anybody's coming in and we're in the middle, you know, just back it up to where you guys can hear. Maybe listen to it on a faster speed so you can get caught up. But yeah, this episode is called Lawyers, Kitties, and Creeps. I'm not sure who she's calling the creeps. But it starts about 59 minutes into the podcast. But we're gonna be at about 53 minutes in, where they actually pull this little prank on Nanny Faye. Thank you so much, Laura S., for the super chat. It is greatly appreciated. If you guys do have questions, that is one way to make sure that I do see your questions, is to send it through a super chat. It's sometimes hard for me to keep up with the stream. I've had people comment saying, do you even read, the comments in your stream? Yes, I do, but I do have a lot of things going on here. I have different screens that I'm having to keep up with. But yes, I do try to interact with you guys as much as possible. But if you want to make sure that I do see you, when you send a super chat, it actually lights it up. So what we're going to start off listening to is Lindsie Chrisley calling Nanny Faye and saying, Nanny Faye, get my checkbook, get Jackson, and come to the Fulton County Jail and bail me out. And Nanny Faye, no questions asked. She's like, what all you need, honey? I'm on my way. It was a joke. I thought it was really funny. So we're going to start off listening to that, and then we're going to go into Lindsie Chrisley with her lawyer, asking her lawyer about the things that Katie Joy has done to her, why legally it's not okay, and why legally she could find herself on the other end of a lawsuit, Katie Joy, if she doesn't stop. So let's go ahead and let's get into it, you guys.
Outside of that, I am going to have a call with my attorney. But before I go, we are going to change out our foul play this week with a prank call.
Yes, and Kristen, please mute me because I will be laughing. Hello.
This is a collect call from the Fulton County Jail from inmate Lindsie Chrisley. If you would like to accept this call, please say yes now.
Yes.
Nanny?
What?
Hey.
Hey, what's the problem?
Nanny, I can't say that much because this call is being recorded.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to come to Atlanta now. I'm going to need you to help me get Jackson and get my checkbook and come to the Fulton County Jail.
Okay. Where'd I come to?
To the Fulton County Jail.
Oh, my God. Okay. Where's he at?
He's at Vacation Bible School.
Okay. All right. Anything else I got to do?
Please hold. You've just been pranked by the Kitty Gang. Have a blessed day. Please hold. You've just been...
Everybody, come off mute right now.
Lindsie, you have to text her and tell her you were joking. No questions asked. No fucking questions asked. She was...
Oh, also there's cursing in here. You guys know that Kale's on the opposite end, so there is cursing. But what they did is they called Nanny Faye, and when she picked up, it said, you have a collect call from the Fulton County Detention Center. Would you like to accept it? Say yes. And it's from Lindsie Chrisley, and Nanny Faye said yes. And she said, Nanny, get my checkbook, get Jackson, and come to the Fulton County Detention Center. I need you to bail me out. And Nanny Faye is like, what happened? And she's like, I can't say too much because this call is being recorded. I just need you to get up here. She's like, all right, anything else you need me to do? She's like, no, just get my checkbook and get Jackson and head up here. She's like, where Jackson at? Vacation Bible School. All right, bet. I'm on my way. Nanny is a ride or die. So crazy. Even though Nanny Faye, she is dealing with bladder cancer, that probably gave her a heart attack for a millisecond, but they do call back and they tell her that it was a joke. All things sassy, I've got to say the prank that Nanny Faye was in bad taste. I didn't see their trial. She basically covered for them. I didn't see it, but I do want to get the transcripts of the trial. But I was going to say that the fact that Nanny Faye is going through bladder cancer, that probably gave her a mini heart attack. But they do call back and tell her that they're joking. And I have a feeling that this family pulls a lot of pranks on each other. Watching the show, and it's been a while since I've actually watched like all of the episodes, like a full season. But back in the day, I do think they used to pull pranks. Yes, Nanny Faye. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Nanny Faye pulled a prank where she had this big muscular guy show up at Todd's house saying that Nanny Faye owed him a bunch of money from gambling. And that if Nanny Faye didn't pay it, that he would just break Todd's legs. And Todd was like, oh, hell no, you ain't. She ain't paying you nothing. Like he was like getting up in the guy's face. So this is like a pranking type of family, I do believe. But she calls Nanny Faye back, so let's listen.
Talk about ride or die. She's not answering. Hello? Nanny?
Don't be doing that shit. I'm already my nerves are bad.
I love you.
So when Lindsie called her back, she said hello, and Lindsie said Nanny. And Nanny said, don't be doing that crap. So she knew it was a joke, I think. All right, let's.
Anyway.
I'm at home. I'm recording Coffee Convos podcast. Can you say hello?
Hey.
I love you, and I'll call you later. Bye.
Okay, bye. Don't be doing that shit.
Okay, we're all going to hell. So now that we have established that, I am going to jump on this call with my attorney
Okay, we're gonna have to fast forward it like 3 minutes to get to the call with her attorney. But yeah, I think they're like a very much pranking type of family. But Kale did say, don't be doing that crap. Nanny seemed to take it in good stride though. Like she's like, it is what it is. So let me go ahead and let's speed this up, and then we'll get to her bringing her lawyer in. Let's see.
Power up your favorite fiends to new levels for even more powerful skills and watch them transform as they get stronger. And I just think their characters are absolutely so precious, and it's such a fun game. You guys have to try it.
You've earned your fun time. Go to the App Store or Google Play to download Best Fiends for free. Plus, earn even more with $5 worth of in-game rewards when you reach level 5. That's Friends without the R, Best Fiends.
All right, you guys, I am going to introduce you to my attorney, and also he has now become my friend through legal representation, and his son is also my son's friend. So hello, Musa, and welcome to Coffee Convos podcast.
Hi, Lindsie. Thank you for having me.
Why do you sound so professional when you literally have a ring light trying to flex on us right now? Your tattoos are out. And I am officially alarmed.
Well, they can't see this, so.
I know, but I can.
I know you can, but let them think I'm wearing a suit.
So give our audience a little bit of background information about you, and anything that you want to tell them about how we met.
Oh, I'm just a poor old country lawyer. You know me. Actually, I've been doing this for about 22 years now. I'm licensed in 3 states: Georgia, New York, and Michigan. I've been practicing in the field of criminal defense for many years, and I met you through a law enforcement contact who referred you to me. That was many years ago now.
Wonder if he's licensed in Minnesota.
And I think that's a good enough background, or you need any more information? You want my CV? Should I tell you where I went to school and all that stuff?
No, I don't think that's important. Just the fact that you did go to law school, I think, is important. Outside of that, Musa and I regularly have legal meetings at his office, over the phone, in federal court, and then also at the trampoline park. It just depends on the week. So I think this is going to be fun. I wanted to bring you on mainly because there have just been some things that have been swirling around Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the good old World Wide Web, and I thought it would be cool to have you come on and just chat about the legal aspect of these things. So if you're comfortable, I'm just going to start asking you questions.
Sure.
Okay. How dangerous is it to report that someone is a federal witness in an ongoing federal trial, whether that be false or not?
Okay, you guys remember Katie Joy reported that Lindsie was a witness in a federal trial. So right out the gate, she's bringing up what Katie did.
And if you could just give the background on what a federal witness actually is and why I did not fit the criteria for that to be falsely reported.
Well, let's start with the second part of the question first, and then go back to the dangerous part, right?
Okay.
So being a federal witness is someone that's under subpoena by the government, that the government intends to use to prove their case, whether it is a cooperating witness or an expert witness or an accountant that they hired. Could be anybody. But those people are under subpoena, they're on a witness list, and they've been provided to both sides, and both both sides are aware of who's going to be testifying. And that's what a federal witness would be for the United States government. Now, when you're talking about reporting falsities on a federal crime, these are dangerous things. They're dangerous because, first of all, you have a prosecuting body or a plaintiff, and that person is trying to prove their case. You have, in a criminal case, a defendant who is innocent until proven guilty, and that person is trying to defend themselves. And if you're out there in some echo chamber where your statement...
I love that he said if you're out there in some echo chamber. What Katie has is an echo chamber, and her followers don't even know this. Like, the people that follow her don't understand that anybody that says anything against Katie, she immediately blocks them. That's why in her chat, it's all praises. It's all, you're great, and they're like, when we watch her on YouTube, everybody loves her. But when we go to like Instagram or Twitter or Reddit, that's not the case. Or if we search for other videos about her, people don't like her. But when we watch her, everybody loves her. That's because she has made an echo chamber on her YouTube channel. Anyone that says anything negative, bam, you're blocked. So it's interesting that he said that. It's like he knows that Katie has created an echo chamber, which I'm sure they watch her. Like, I'm sure they keep up with Katie.
Can bounce around over and over. These things can easily influence the thought process of the witnesses and things like that. Additionally, I don't know why anybody would ever dare try to insert themselves in the government's prosecution and try to claim things that are not true. It just doesn't make sense. It could affect the case. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so I guess my last part of that is, do I fit the criteria of a federal witness, or did I fit the criteria of a federal witness in this case?
No, you were never subpoenaed by the federal government. No. So you would never have been a government witness, nor did I ever think that the government was going to use you as a witness.
Great to know. Okay, next question. Why does it...
So Katie made that claim, and Katie stuck to that. When Lindsie came out to say, no, I'm not, Katie once again was like, yes, you are. So here it is, Lindsay's lawyer saying, no, you don't fit the criteria. You weren't.
Seem like public figures are allowed to be falsely reported on, but then cannot speak on it. And a second part to that question, once you answer that, is how hard is it for public figures to prove defamation, libel, and slander?
Okay, well, let's take defamation first. Okay, defamation is the umbrella, and underneath that are libel and slander. Slander is disparaging somebody with the spoken word, whereas libel is using the literal word, writing newspaper articles, broadcasts, things like that. Okay? So libel and slander fall under defamation, and public figures are deemed to have put themselves in a position of public attention. And therefore, if you're considered a public figure, there is a higher standard for a public figure to prove defamation in any way. So you have to prove that there is actual malice, okay, which is a very high bar. And the reason being is because, it's believed that because you've placed yourself in a position to be noticed, you're also placing yourself in a position to be ridiculed. It's difficult to speak back on it because their standard is different, because you're not suing a public figure. And additionally, you may win, but it's still going to cost you. You never really win the case, right? It cost you thousands of dollars in litigation. I mean, in this country, you can sue anybody for anything, anytime. And once you get involved in that system, it's just churning it out. You got to even wonder if it's even worth going after it, because it just seems pointless.
Right. I think that it comes down to if you decide that you want to take litigation on and view that as a sport, or if you just decide it's not worth it. I think it's very hard as a public figure when you hear things about yourself that is false. Reporting is false and appears to be reckless, is intentionally trying to harm you with the reporting.
All of those things are important, but you have to prove actual malice, which is very anomalous thing to try to prove.
Yeah. And I do want to say, when you get into the business and become a public figure, I think that it's unfair for people to say, oh, well, you chose this life and you chose these things, right? It's like, there's certain things that I signed up for, and then there's certain things that I didn't. And an example of one of those things would be, people out here posting identifiable information about me, whether that be addresses that I've lived at, things that are personal information about me that would not be important for the general public to have knowledge of. And so it's stuff like that I really just can't get behind.
Oh, I completely understand that. I mean, I think I read there's some kid on Twitter that follows Elon Musk and all of those other people's planes. And they're trying to shut him down. I mean, I can see that. It's a security risk. It puts you and other people in your position in danger, and there needs to be some sort of limitation. The issue there is the litigation itself. If you're like you said, if it's a principled litigation and you don't care how much money you spend in order to get the result you want, think, for example, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, chances are he's not going to see, he'll see 10 cents on the dollar of what he spent. But
exactly. Basically what the lawyer is saying is, when you sue someone for defamation, it's obviously really hard to win it, because you have to prove that the false reporting was done maliciously. Like, they knew that they were putting out information that was not correct, and they did it anyways. And most of the time, say you sue them for $5 million, you're not going to get that. To get the money to win is going to be, really difficult, and to actually be awarded, or not be awarded, but actually get that money is almost impossible as well. So he's basically saying that for you to file a lawsuit, it would be the principle, not to really get that money from them. It would be, you're doing it for the principle of what they've done to you, to prove a point, essentially, not because you really think you're about to get paid, which Lindsie Chrisley doesn't need any of Katie's money. And if Lindsie ever decides to sue Katie, I know it's not going to be for any money. Just like when Tati sued Katie, it wasn't for money. She didn't need any of Katie's money. It was the principle behind it. More like Cardi B's case, exactly. When Cardi B sued Tasha K, Cardi B didn't need any of Tasha K's money. It was the principle behind it. To say, like, you're not going to continue lying about me. You're lying about me. You're lying about me. We've asked you to stop. We've sent you notices saying, if you don't stop, we're going to sue you. You continue to maliciously put out false information about me, knowing that it's false, because you just don't care. So I'm going to do something to try to stop you. Unfortunately, though, I think it is sad. I think it's really sad that people that have a public platform, whether it be on YouTube, TV, that people can just sit back and say whatever about them, because to hire a lawyer is extremely expensive. Most people don't have, $100,000 just laying around that they could put into a lawsuit. So most people just take it. Most people just deal with someone defaming them.
It was a principled litigation, and that was the point there.
Well, and I think also when you're talking about principal litigation as a public figure, and you referenced Johnny Depp, it's more so of, you have now gone out here and slung mud on my name, and now I need to defend myself to clear my name because I know what I do and what I don't do. And I think that, that's where it becomes hard when you're talking about litigation and spending money. At some point, maybe it's not as much about the money as it is about the principle.
I agree 100%. And, there are people out there that are fortunate enough to be able to do that, to defend themselves. And unfortunately, there are others that aren't. And that's where it puts you in a position where you have to make like a calculated decision. Like, what is the cost benefit analysis of me doing this? Are these
Right.
people online really even a blip on the radar? Or are they really damaging and affecting my brand? And are they doing it with actual malice? That's where it comes in.
Right.
Chances are many of these people that are doing this aren't of the means of the people they're doing it to. So they're doing it to a celebrity and they're not celebrities, let's say, right?
Right.
So, they can find
Hold on. I think that was funny that she laughed about that. He said most of the people are doing this to celebrities, but they're not celebrities. And she laughed. And I think that was really funny that she laughed because we know she's thinking about Katie. Everything that she's asking him, the questions are in reference to Katie. So when he said most of the people doing this are not celebrities, she laughed because she knows that Katie calls herself a celebrity, but she really isn't. I think that's pretty funny as well.
themselves in a boatload of litigation if the person thinks that they're even important enough to litigate with.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I think when you continually get poked, and a person doesn't let up, that at that point, that's when it's time to evaluate the pros and cons of a litigation and say,
Right.
Okay, I've given this person fair chance, or people, or, tabloid, whatever you want to call it, fair chance, and then they just continue. So, okay, so next question. Where is the line exactly with defamation and freedom of speech?
Actual malice for public figures and false statements that are damaging to a person's professional, sexual orientation, or health, I believe, from law school. I'm trying to think back for someone that is not. So, for example, if I deliberately lied to destroy someone's business, then they have actual damages against me, and neither one of us are public figures. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. But it's different when you're dealing with someone that's a public figure who has to prove actual malice rather than recklessness.
Okay. Good to know. Okay. Next question. People are reporting that I perjured myself in court in my parents' federal trial. Could you advise
Katie is reporting that Lindsie perjured herself.
on what perjury is and why that was or was not the case? And then outside of that, explain the ramifications of simply being accused of perjury.
Well, I mean, being accused of committing a crime, I'll start right there. When you didn't commit a crime, it's as bad as being accused of anything terrible, right? You're whatever. You're a criminal. It could be you're a this, you're a that. In this case, it's you're a criminal, is what they're saying. And if you look under 18 U.S.C. Chapter 79 under the U.S. Code, perjury says that the person who takes an oath must make a statement that they believe is false knowingly at the time they make the statement. So if somebody were to come to me and tell me, hey, by the way, such and such happened, and then all of a sudden I get a call from the FBI and they say, what do you know about this? And I repeat, I heard such and such happened. Well, I just repeated what I heard. I didn't any way perjure myself because I didn't say anything that was a lie, and I knew to be a lie at the time I said it.
And I think that that is what is important here in this specific situation, because I don't want to speak too much on it myself, because you were very present in the courtroom, sitting next to my siblings when I was testifying. And I can simply say that I did not perjure myself in any way.
I laugh when I hear that. So just so you know, I laugh when I hear that, because clearly it's someone that has no idea what the law is and has no idea what happened, right? There's no way anybody can see what you did and consider that to be perjury. It's just not. The person must, that anybody claiming that must be untrained in the law to say that nicely.
To say the least.
I will just say also, outside of that, you and I have very publicly defended my position in regards to things that have happened in the past. And as you and I were doing that, there was limited knowledge from an entire party that we didn't have access to during that time that we were defending what we were led to believe was the truth. And so to allege that there was any type of perjury by anyone, to me, is reckless reporting, intentionally trying to harm someone and create false narrative. And this person doesn't have all the pieces of the puzzle to be able to make a reckless statement in that regard.
You know, anybody online, like I said, basically they're in an echo chamber trying to get attention, right? And
Exactly.
what they're reporting on you is so blatantly false that it, like you said, it's laughable to me. In your situation, there was never a time that you have wavered in your story and what you said happened. And there was never a time that you were even remotely different in what happened. And frankly, I think there are still some things that might still bother you. It might be out of place to talk, for me to talk, but, you know, just because you testified, it doesn't mean that everything is, you know, daisies and roses. That's all I'm saying.
Correct.
I'm saying you went in there to tell the truth. You didn't go in there to do anything else, and it clearly came across that way.
Well, I will say that it's hard when your character is called into question and you are basically said to be a liar about something, when my story has never changed. I became more knowledgeable of more information over the time of my story, but my story has never wavered. So for that, it's very hard to hear when I come open and honest and choose to be honest about things when sometimes I don't want to be, because I feel like I owe it to the people who tune in and listen to me every week on either of my shows or my social media. They're tuning in there every week or every day. That's harmful to me.
Of course it is. Those are what you consider to be actual damages, right? When someone is damaged, they can say that they're emotionally damaged, they can say that they're physically damaged, but there's also damages that you suffer economically as a result of these types of statements. And, you know, to go back to it, I want to go back to the same parallel with the, Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation. He had lost hundreds of millions of dollars from losing the franchise movies that he was in. And now he's back in them. So if you look at that suit, you can see that they believed that there were actual damages there. They believed that the conduct that was stated was so reckless and malicious, that it cost him X amount of dollars. And frankly, the fact that they decided that they're going to renew the franchise after he won proves it.
Right. Yeah.
So it just goes to show how much damages there are. Now, a lot of people are complaining about that ruling, saying it makes it easier, to sue people. I guess
it creates some kind of case law around that. Would that be correct?
It would, in that jurisdiction there in Virginia, but it's also something that changes the course of public opinion, and public opinion is what changes legislation.
Correct. Okay. Do you think that the law needs to change surrounding media reporting?
Yes.
Do you feel like they should go directly to the source to obtain all facts prior to reporting something? And outside of that, in your opinion, what do you feel is the difference between actual media reporting and gossip bloggers and YouTubers? Do you feel like it's reckless for reporters to not report on an entire story, but just cherry picking bits and pieces?
Well, the cherry picking bits and pieces is something that real reporters won't do, right? So if you're talking to a real reporter, you're going to be dealing with somebody who's going to be, dealing with sources that are reliable. That's something different. If you're dealing with...
I love that he said that. I'm not a journalist. I'm a YouTuber. I give commentary on celebrities. You know what I'm saying? But I always try to do it in a way that if they watched me, it wouldn't tick them off. You know what I'm saying? I remember that they're human. But he said, real journalists don't cherry pick things. Oh my goodness, B, how dare work call you? They should not call you. But he said you don't cherry pick things, and that's the truth. When a story comes out and you're reading it and it mentions just a few things, you could hop on your channel and only talk about those few things because that's that's something that would probably capture the audience more. I feel like real journalists don't do that. They just tell the whole story and they'll include everything in it. The thing that's interesting and the thing that may not be as interesting. But I feel like, yes, glazed and confused. Real reporters also correct their mistakes. They will update their stories. I remember very early on when I did YouTube. So the way that YouTube works for me is I will watch a show. When I started, I was doing beauty, which that didn't last long. I was doing makeup, didn't last long. And then I started covering Teen Mom, right? So the way that I was talking about it at first is I would just watch the show and then I would get on my channel and talk about that past week's episode and my thoughts on it. And then I started just following TMZ, the Ashley Realities Roundup, The Sun, Hollywood Gossip, Radar Online. I started following all of these media outlets. So when they reported on the people that I talk about on my channel, I would read what they said. I would go read several articles about the same thing, and then I would get on my channel and I would tell you guys. I would relay that information to you guys, because not everybody is looking up the Ashley Realities Roundup. Not everybody's looking up TMZ, but way more people are on YouTube, scanning through YouTube to stay updated on things. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, when I first started doing this, though, I think I was probably a little bit more harsh on celebrities. And then I remember talking to Janelle Easton's mom, Barbara, and Barbara saying, Janelle told me not to talk to you because you're a hater. And that's when I still wasn't mean, though. Never have I been just a mean person to talk about celebrities. But it really dawned on me oh, yeah, keep in mind these people they are real people and they have feelings as well. So in the way that you talk about them in a way that isn't just dragging them. I can't think of anybody that I've ever got on here and I've just dragged them to where if they were to watch me, they would be like, oh my God, she just dragged me. What the heck is wrong with her? She don't even know me. It's nothing personal. I get on here and I talk about people. celebrities that I watch on TV shows, and it's nothing personal for me. There's only a couple people that I talk about that it is personal. Katie is kind of one of the ones that it does get personal because we actually had a personal relationship where things happen. But early in my YouTube career, the Ashley Realities Roundup put up a article about Janelle Eason having lupus. I think that's what it was. And I jumped on a live stream and I was reading the article and talking about the fact that Janelle Eason had been diagnosed with lupus. And then right after I got off the stream, the Ashley apologized and said that it actually wasn't Janelle Eason, that it was Ashley from 90 Day Fiance, someone that I wasn't even familiar with. I didn't know who that was. But you guys, I called Sean crying. Sean was like offshore or something. I don't even remember. But I called him crying because I was like, oh my God, I just put out information that was not true. Like, I don't know what to do. And he's like, get back on there and tell everybody that you're sorry. And I'm like, well, obviously I got to do that. But it's going to make me look like a liar. Like, it's going to make me look like, I lied. And I had people commenting, saying like that I had false information. Some people being really mean about it. So I got back on there and I was like, I'm so sorry, you guys. I swear I think it was the Ashley that put up that article. I was like, I swear it said Janelle. And I read the article again, just to prove like it did say that it was Janelle. But when you get it wrong, you get it wrong. We're not always going to get it right. But I think what's more important is to report on things or to commentate on things in a way that's at least respectful. Because if you come on here and you say you cannot get a UTI from sex, you cannot. It's impossible. There's no way. It's impossible. And you laugh at people who say that you can get a UTI from, you're like, oh my gosh, they're so stupid because they think you can get a UTI from sex. And then everybody in the chat's like, well, you can get a UTI from, you can. Just be like, oh, first off, don't report it like you know it all when you don't know it all. You can say, I always say, I think this is what it is. From my understanding, this is what it is. I don't get on here and I'm like, oh, I know without a doubt that this is what it is. But I say, like, I think this is the way that it is. And then if somebody in my chat corrects me and says, well, actually, no, this is what it is, I say, oh, okay, well, that person said XYZ, so maybe that's what it is. I try to be respectful of the people in the chat that's giving me the information that I may not know. But you guys know when Katie was on that live stream saying, she was picking on the Duggars because the Duggars in a handbook, they give their children handbooks to read before their first night of marriage because that's when they lose their virginity. So that's what we've been told. I don't know. But they give their children a book to help them along the way, and one of the things that they tell them is to like go to the bathroom before being intimate, go to the bathroom after being intimate, and that sex can cause a UTI. And Katie was just laughing at them and dogging them because she said they were wrong, that it couldn't cause a UTI. And everybody in the chat, there was like nurses in the chat, was like, no, I'm telling you it can cause a UTI. I'm a nurse. It can. Then she was like, oh my gosh, whatever. Okay, whatever. Leave it alone. Stop talking about it. She just didn't even want to respect the fact that she got it wrong and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I got it wrong. My bad. You know what I'm saying? So it's in the way that you respond as well when you get something wrong, and Katie just won't do that. If Katie gets something wrong, I remember when she talked about my finances, like when she put my financial information out there and then I had to do a video to prove that she did not have the correct information. She went on an Instagram live like the next night and still like was like, why don't you tell everybody about how you're not paying your bills or something like that? And I'm like, I just showed you guys how I was. Like, did she not watch the video? You know what I'm saying? So a real journalist is going to come back and say, I made a mistake. I misspoke. I put out the wrong information. My bad. And not take it personal that they had the wrong information. I went off on a tangent there, but I thought that was important to say. Oh, I'm sure she did, Tammy. I apologize.
Bob Woodward, if you're dealing with somebody, Maggie Haberman, people like this, right? This is different than some guy running around Atlanta with a phone claiming to be a journalist, following celebrities around and making up stories, right? Mm-hmm. That's not a journalist, that's just a troll. So You know, I mean, it is what it is. So I have to differentiate the two. I think that there are journalists out there that have created a name for themselves by using YouTube. I can think of one that comes off the top of my head. It was the Young Turks, and now they have like an actual news station, right? So, but then, when you go on there and somebody's telling you that President Obama is an alien shapeshifter, then you got to be like, wait a second, maybe this person is not the right reporter for the story. And so that's where you really have to draw the line. I think that if there's somebody out there that is a legitimate reporter for a legitimate story in a respected newspaper, or the person is respected and has the sources to back up what he wants to, yes. But they can report and say, my sources tell me. But I think anybody just getting on there and making up, their imaginary friend can't be their source, basically.
So, next question. You have been in my life for what feels like a very long time. We've been on this journey together for some time. And this is a topic that has come up for many, many years. I have put my foot in my mouth on this topic a couple of times that I will acknowledge, and we can get into that. But what are your thoughts on the media attempting to out a reconciliation in the family before we are ready to publicly address that? And do you feel like that could be harmful, in your opinion?
Yes, clearly. Okay, now this is something where maybe people should back off a little bit and let it take its natural course. Anything that is going to be forced is not going to work. And I think that that's what would be happening, they'd be forcing a situation unnaturally. And as a result, it could do damage to any type of relationship or any repairing of any relationship that two parties might have when they disagree. You're getting these, and I keep calling it an echo chamber because that's what it is. It's, you go find what you want to hear. You go online and you just keep hearing it because that's what you want to hear. You're looking for affirmation rather than information. So, yeah, I think it could be very harmful.
I think that it's fair to say people who tune in and listen to this podcast, they listen to the Southern Tea, and watch my social media or my family's social media. I think it's fair to say that there is public interest in what's going on behind the scenes, reconciliation, if that's ever a possibility, possible returns to Chrisley Knows Best, working on projects together, all of those things. It would be naive to say that that's not of interest because, we publicly live our lives. And I think that people have every right to be interested in that. But at the same time, I think the pressure of media, and not all media, but certain media, pressuring to tell the world about a reconciliation that they have no idea about or the intricacies of that is very reckless and very harmful. And I think that it's a double-edged sword, right? Because if I went on Instagram, on this podcast, on my other podcast, and talked about this alleged reconciliation, it might come off as there is an agenda behind that versus doing the actual work behind the scenes to put the pieces back together where they need to be, and maybe not even putting the pieces back together, but forming new pieces. That to me is a much better approach because that is my real life and I'm having to live that every day, and I'm not living that to appease my followers, my listeners, whatever, but it's what's what's right for me in my personal life, what's right for my family, what's right for my son, and as a collective unit to be able to move forward. And as I said before, I put my foot in my mouth by going on record and saying there's never a possibility for any type of reconciliation. And I will go on record today and say I should never say never in any situation, because you don't know what's going to happen in the future to be making statements like that. So that was reckless for me to say.
I think that there are times when privacy is required, and for any person that is, like you said, if you got on the air and you said, hey, there's a reconciliation or whatever, right? Half the people on Instagram or Twitter are going to love it, and the other half are just going to hate it just because that's in their nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it really has to do with authenticity and not caring about that. Now, you and I both know there's a lot more to it than this. You and I both know the history and everything in much more detail than anybody else. So I know exactly where you're coming from, and I know, it's hard to say always and never, and sometimes we say them and regret them. But in this circumstance, I think that what needs to happen is a family just needs to take time and sit, and I really like what you said, build new pieces.
Mm-hmm. And just for the listeners, so they can get a more inside view without me speaking much more on a reconciliation, you are familiar with my family and pretty much met everybody, I think, at this point. And obviously you're my legal representation, but also a personal friend. From the inside but outside looking in, do you think what I am saying is completely accurate in the way that I am describing reconciliation?
100%. You're being as transparent as and foregoing a lot of privacy. I mean, you are a public figure, but it's an uncomfortable topic to discuss. But you're being as transparent as you can be. It's not easy to live with such little privacy.
I will also go on record today and say that I love my parents. I love my siblings. I love my grandmother. And what is the future of our relationships at this point, I'm currently not going to discuss any more than that, other than the fact that I love them and I stand with them, and I will continue to stand with them through the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And I'm very proud of you for that.
Wow. Well, that was a conversation that you and I had not had. So
we haven't been to the trampoline park in a while.
I know. Well, thank you so much for coming on here and talking to me about all of this stuff. I really appreciate it. And it's always so fun to just carry on a conversation with you. I love legal talk.
You're going to end up being a lawyer one day.
That'd be cool.
That's what people have been saying since I was like 5 years old. So maybe I can apprentice under you.
Having argued with you, I can see that you kind of have the natural streak in you. So, well, I really appreciate you having me. Thank you so much. If you ever need me again, I'm here.
For everyone who is listening to us, make sure that you follow us on @Convos Podcast on Instagram. And if you have not subscribed to us, you can do that by searching the Purple Podcast app, type in Coffee Convos, click subscribe, click the 5th star, leave us a written review. You can also find us on any other podcast app and Podcast One. We hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
Okay.
Get camping ready for the 4th of July with the kickoff.
Let me get it stopped. Okay. So that was interesting, you guys. Thank you so much, Ronnie G. I'm sorry, Sean. I just saw your message. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you to Rena Roo, Denisa, Laura S, and Ronnie G for the super chat. You guys are awesome. All you guys are awesome. So that was interesting. You know, I think she kept it classy. She actually asked things that Katie had done, you know, saying that someone is a witness in a federal case when that's not the case. What happens here? She also asked, how could a celebrity sue someone like a journalist, a YouTuber, for defamation? Like, what would be the reason they could do that? And how hard is it to win a case like that? And he basically, he was honest with her. He told her, you know, it's very hard to win those cases because you have to prove that they maliciously made these comments. Do I think that Katie's maliciously made comments about Lindsie Chrisley? Absolutely. Now, to prove that in court would, you know, might be a little bit more difficult for Lindsie. We've watched Katie, though. Now, I don't watch Katie. I don't go to her channel and watch her. I see the clips that people will take from her streams and they'll put them on Twitter. So if she talks about Lindsie, someone will usually clip it and they'll put it on Twitter. Or the channel Without a Crystal Ball versus Without a Crystal Ball is really good at like highlighting, you know, Katie's nastiness. So I don't watch her on her channel. I will see clips and stuff like that. And one thing that I have noticed, and I do believe to be facts, is that Katie has maliciously said things about Lindsie that may not be true. And, you know, the thing is Katie has been sued so far unsuccessfully enough that you would think that she would just tone it down a little bit. You know, she don't have to quit her channel. She could just tone it down a little bit. So she isn't constantly at someone's mercy, you know, the people that she's covering. At this point, Jillian Epperly filed a lawsuit against Katie. It was dismissed due to jurisdiction, I do believe. Tati Westbrook filed a lawsuit against Katie, dismissed due to jurisdiction. But from my understanding, Tati's attorney, they actually went to Minnesota, was going to file suit there, but they met with Katie's attorney and they worked out a settlement to keep that from happening. My understanding is Tati was getting ready to sue Katie in Minnesota. But Katie said, whoa, don't do it. You know, how can we keep this from happening? And basically Tati said, tell me your source. Where are you getting this information about me? This information that's incorrect. Who's telling you this? And Katie said, well, it was your ex-business partner. There you go. And she said, you know, if you write that in a declaration, if you will attest to that in court, that my ex-business partner was feeding you information, then we won't file this lawsuit against you. So that's what happened. She's been pocket served by another YouTuber. I don't think anything's moving forward with that one. Todd Chrisley's filed a lawsuit against her for defamation. 7M has filed a lawsuit against her for defamation. And I don't know, you know, how good of a case Todd Chrisley has at this point. 7M, from my understanding, has a really good case. I've watched Uncivil Law talk about it to say that he thinks that they have a pretty good shot because she's accused the Robert Sheehan, the person behind 7M, of like human trafficking, of controlling the dancers, of not allowing them to have bank accounts, just a lot of things that, you know, supposedly isn't the case. So from my understanding, that they have a really good shot at, you know, they have a really good shot at being successful in this lawsuit. At some point, though, even though, you know, Tati didn't win per se, Tati got what she wanted, which was the source. So it was a win for Tati. But even though Katie hasn't been ordered to pay anybody, you know, millions of dollars, she's still putting out so much money in legal fees. So to me, it just doesn't make sense. To me, you would just think that Katie would say, okay, I'm going to tone it down a little bit. I'm not going to make it so personal. I'm not going to blatantly lie about people. I'm not going to dig in their family's life and try to see, you know, who their dad was and their dad's address and whether or not he was, what his jobs were. And if I can't find a job, I'm not going to say, well, he must be a part of the mob, you know. You would think that she would just tone it down because she's putting out so much money in legal fees. I don't feel like it's worth it. I really don't. But I think Lindsie Chrisley's lawyer was very honest with her about the possibilities. If you file a lawsuit against a reporter that does XYZ, your chances of winning, they're not that great, but it's the principle that matters. So if you want to prove a point, then sure, yeah, you can do it. But you're going to put out money. More than likely, you're not going to get that money in. You're not going to get any money back from her. She said a few months ago back she was still paying off her lawyers from the Tati case. I actually, and I don't know this to be the facts, I actually heard that, you guys know, Katie has had a lawyer for some years now that was like a friend of hers from school, Brown, from my understanding. I heard that Brown quit because Katie had not paid him. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true. Yeah, that's true, Marissa. With 7M, KJ claimed that she had them removed from performing. So it's no longer just defamation. That's tortious interference, which is easier to prove. That's what uncivil law said as well. There's proof there. There is proof that management for a contract that, so 7M had a contract with like a basketball company or something. It was like the Celtics or something. Who was it, you guys? Where they had a contract to dance or something, and Katie contacted that company and said XYZ, and that company canceled the contract with 7M. And then Katie, she went on Instagram, laughing about it, which is going to bite her in the butt, I would imagine. KJ admitted that she still uses Brown, but KJ admitted that she was still paying Brown, but she can't use him. I wonder why. Sean, I just posted it. That's okay, Sean. I just posted, the LA Clippers. That's who it was. So 7M had a contract with the LA Clippers. And Katie contacted the LA Clippers, said XYZ. I don't know what she said really. But they canceled the contract with 7M. She did the same thing to Jessa Duggar. Yep, absolutely. She contacted, Jessa Duggar had this sponsorship with a brand. When Jessa Duggar posted a video promoting the brand, Katie contacted that brand, said XYZ. Why do you have Jessa Duggar promoting your brand? I don't know what else she said. And then the company released Jessa Duggar from being a brand ambassador. So she lost that money. And one thing that you have to prove is that it hurt you financially, from my understanding. I know when I've talked to my lawyer about it, because I talked to my lawyer about, well, also most of you guys know that I was in a lawsuit as well recently. But one of the things that you have to prove is how it hurt you financially. So who I sued, I had to prove that it affected my job, my reputation. And when I have talked to my attorney about the situation with Katie being the one to announce my arrest, getting it all wrong, and I literally have probably every comment that Katie made about my arrest, every video that she's ever done, I literally have like a file full of it. You know what I'm saying? That my attorney has it. I have it. My attorney has it. I've had to share it with her. But one thing that's you have to prove is that it affected your job, which I have proof of that. If evil people would only put their energy to good causes. Exactly. Yes, Suzanne, I agree. Well, whoever was her Tati lawyer said he has never taken another YouTube case again. He wasn't pleased. I would imagine not. That was a whole bunch of messiness, like the stuff that happened between her and Amy Duggar King. Yes. The stuff between her and Amy Duggar King. Craziness. I'm sorry. Sean, I'm going to try to send you my links, but I really don't know how to do it. What did Tammy say? Maybe. I approved it. Was you not approving it for the F word? I approved it. Or did it not let you approve it? Kimberly, what's so crazy is there is a petition for that. There actually is a petition to have her removed. And, you know, back in the day when I first started having these issues with Katie, like going after me, I was like, I'm not trying to have her kicked off YouTube. I just don't want her to attack me. Like, I want her to stop attacking me. I want her to stop attacking people. I know she has a child. I know that's their only income. So she needs to, the thing about it is I hold my YouTube channel so dear to me because this is an income that helps provide for my family. Like my husband, he is a veteran. So, you know, he does pull in money as well. But this YouTube channel really helps us. So I hold this YouTube channel so dear to me because if we lost this, it would really affect us financially. And considering that Katie is the only one that's pulling in an income, from my understanding, I mean, outside of, oh, okay, Sean, I approved it. But outside, you know, I don't think Todd has an income really. I mean, he sells things for Vine Arts or something, but I don't know how well that actually does for him. But Katie has an income. Her YouTube channel, let's look up Social Blade right now. And Social Blade is not 100% accurate, but it can be pretty close at times. All right, let's see. Because sometimes, y'all, Katie makes a lot of money on YouTube. So if she was to get kicked off, you know, she has a son. And what I wish Katie would understand is why she's out here getting people's jobs taken away from them. Like the 7M dancers, they're losing contracts, so that's money they're not getting. Jessa literally losing that brand deal. That, who knows how much Jessa was going to make from that. But Jessica has children, you know, so I feel like Katie is not thinking about other people when she's trying to have their income removed. But she don't want people to try to get her removed off YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, in the earlier days, I used to say, she has a child. I don't want her taken off YouTube. That's not what it is. But at this point, I think she does way more harm than good. And at the end of the day, her and Todd can get a regular job. You know, let me see if I can screen share this with you guys. All right. 2 seconds. I think I'm getting better at this. We'll see. All right, so there it is, you guys. This is her Social Blade right here. So right now, it has her estimated earnings of 14.5, and that's just for where we're at in this month. And that could be not 100% correct. That could be low, but either way, there's been months that Katie has made $30,000 on YouTube. Right now, she's projected to make 14.5. We've got 7 days left, so that could jump up another $7,000-8,000. I don't know. She's probably going to make $20,000 this month on YouTube. Her yearly earnings is about $173,000. That's what it is right now. So she's making, you know, decent money. And let me see if I can get y'all back over here. Let me figure out how to do it. No, where am I? Hold on, you guys. All right, I know how to do it. I remembered. No, I didn't. How do I get myself back up there? Nope. Oh, yeah, here we go. I got it. No, I didn't. Let me see if you guys can see me. Can you guys see me? No, y'all can't see me. Yeah, you can see me. I don't know. Y'all give me a second. Bring webcam to the bottom. That's what I did, babe. There's only webcam is the only thing here. I think I got it. But the chat is over my face. Okay. Bear with me, you guys. I heard the hubby. He's coming out to save the day. Chat box. Yep, we want the chat box, but we need it over here.
Needs to be at the bottom.
Yeah, now I got the chat box up twice. Remove. Okay. Here we go.
All right, got it?
I think I got it fixed.
All right, cool. You did it. So, now you got this big thing, and or is it because I'm behind?
I think it's because you're behind.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get on Social Blade, and I keep up with mine a lot too, like just to see how accurate it is. I've got on mine before, and it's been extremely accurate, and I've got on mine before, and it's been like off by a lot. Let's see where mine is. Okay, so right now mine is off. Right now, what is projecting that I'm gonna make is about 50% less than where I'm at right now. Let me double check that. Just to kind of give you guys an idea. Like I said, I check this site all the time. It's called Social Blade. You can go on there. You can look up celebrities, not celebrities, YouTubers, and it'll tell you their estimated revenue. And right now, what it says for mine is about 50% less than what it really is. So if Katie's is about 50% less than what it really is, she's at 14.5 right now, right? She's more than likely going to make over 20K this month. I don't know if you guys heard the comment where Katie said, oh, I could buy 2 Bentleys. Well, you know. Oh, okay, Sean. Okay. You know, she possibly could, but no doubt she's putting a lot of money towards her legal fees. And, you know, she's said before that the reason that she wanted to grow her channel and start making the money that she makes was so she could put a lot aside for her son. And I remember when Tati sued her, and it was like months into this lawsuit, and it was getting expensive for her. She did a live where she broke down crying about the fact that it was costing her a lot of money and how she had planned to set a lot of this money aside for her son, so he could be taken care of when they're no longer here, right? And she was crying about how she's not going to have that for him anymore because so much of the money is now going to legal fees. And I'm like, but why are you still doing this then? Why are you still getting yourself involved in lawsuits? If someone sends you a cease and desist, then just stop. Say, okay, you know what? Either I'm going to stop talking about that person because I don't want to have to hire me a lawyer, or you know, pay the legal fees of to go through another lawsuit, or say I'm going to be very cautious about what I say in regards to this person moving forward. I'm going to say allegedly, from my understanding, it's being reported, and keep it where it's not personal, you know? I don't know. I think she said it's like once she passes, so there will be money in an account to take care of him. Thank you, American Princess. Thank you so much. Y'all, Sean always saves the day for me. Is the channel growth and views numbers accurate on Social Blade? Well, Marissa, I check Social Blade all the time, like once or twice a week, and sometimes it can be really close to accurate, and sometimes it can be off, but in the sense of it's lower than what's really going on. So like I said, right now I'm looking at my numbers. What it says I'm going to make, it's about 50% off. And then as far as my subscriber count, yeah, that's pretty accurate. I gain about 100 subscribers a day most days. So when you look at mine on 6/11, it says that I grew 100 subscribers, and then it skips 2 days, and on 6/14 it has 100 subscribers. So in between those 2 days, I did gain, but I didn't gain to 100. You know what I'm saying? So like when you get to the hundreds or the thousands, it starts keeping count by the hundreds or the thousands. So I have 58,000 subscribers, so it counts mine by the hundreds. When I get 100,000 subscribers, then it'll start calculating them by the thousands. How do you find someone on there? So you just go to Social Blade. You go to Google, put in Social Blade, find socialblade.com, click on it. There will be this little search box, this white search box, and then you put in their name. Like if you want to look without a crystal ball in that white search box, you just put in without a crystal ball, click it, hit go. And then she has like an Instagram, a TikTok, a Twitch, and a YouTube. So to look at her numbers on YouTube, you click the one that has YouTube. I don't really know when it comes to the other ones, the Instagram, it doesn't give a lot of information. Her followers, her following rank, her engagement rank, her media rank when it comes to her Instagram. I only look at look at people's YouTube's account to see kind of what their numbers are, to get an idea. It just gives you a general idea. You know, people had no idea that Katie was making $20,000 a month on YouTube. She is, you guys. And that does include her members, because your member pay is a part of that. But if you have a Patreon, if you're selling merchandise, oftentimes I don't think super chats are included in that. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm so proud of you, Ben, and so many. Thank you, number one fan. Thank you so much. I've been on a steady incline lately, which is nice. She's broken inside and driven by hate. She can't help herself. It's very sad. It's very sad, to be honest. Hopefully her attorney fees will break her. She should already put that money aside. Yeah. She should. I need to start watching your second channel too. Me and Sean, we think that we're going to turn that channel. I have another channel called The Bash Chat, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to start using that channel to cover a different topic. Hey, y'all, what's the difference between being a member and joining your Patreon? How much does YouTube take for super chats? Okay, so difference in being a member or joining my Patreon, I think it's just like the amounts. You get the same perks. Basically, like if I do a members live, it's for Patreon members and YouTube members. Anything that I'm going to do on here for the members, channel members, I do it for the Patreon members as well. If I share a picture with you guys, I share it with Patreon and channel. I think just the fees may be a little bit different, because I think Patreon lets you set like what you want, but I think YouTube has it at like almost what you want, but it starts at like $3.99 or something. I'm not sure. What was the rest of your question, Denise? Because I wanted to make sure I answered it. How much does YouTube take out for super chats? About 35%. They take out about 35%. I don't like to tell people, you know, like, hey, if you're going to super chat, you can send it to my PayPal. But people will say that at times. People will say, hey, I know that YouTube's going to take out a chunk of this, so what's your PayPal? And then I'll give them the information, just because it does take out a good bit. I would love to pick your brain regarding Patreon sometimes. Okay. Okay, Susan. Yes, I'm at 58,000. I know, it wasn't that long ago we celebrated 50. I hope it won't be soon and we're celebrating 100K. What platform does KJ make the most money from? Oh, absolutely YouTube. Absolutely YouTube. If you're watching her, she's making money from you. If you click on her video and you watch like 30 seconds of it, she's made some money from you. How many YouTubers make merchandise to mock and point and laugh and see it? Right. Yes. Unfortunately, Katie has made merchandise to mock Christians. Caramel cuties. I think that's how you say it. I have some links in my description box below. So when I started YouTube, I was like very new to YouTube, and Katie just attacked me out of nowhere. And it wasn't like, oh, I don't like that YouTuber. It was like, F you, Elle Bee. And she lied about me. She said that I mocked her son. She said that I picked on her son for being autistic. Like, she told people these things, and that was not true. I did not pick on her son. My son is autistic. I would never do that. I have links in my description box where you can watch what went on between me and her. I have links where you can see. There's a channel called Without a Crystal Ball versus Without a Crystal Ball where you can really see. And all this channel does is they'll put Katie beside Katie, where Katie says one thing, oh, I lost my hair due to stress. And then, oh, I lost my hair due to bleach, and then another video saying, oh, my pride flag that we put up in honor of my friend, it was wet. It's ripped and worn from the weather. And then weeks later, when she claims she's having problems with her neighbors, She says, my neighbors ripped my pride flag, and she shows it, and it's the same exact damage. So Without a Crystal Ball versus Without a Crystal Ball, that channel, it's linked in the description box below, has videos up just of Katie saying things. Also, Katie mocked a rape victim, called her a brat. I mean, she pulled my finances. She paid for my finances and then went live and said that I was about to lose my vehicle, that it was about to be repossessed. She said that I lied about my sons playing football. I mean, she just, I think most YouTubers don't lie. I'm not getting on here lying to you guys about nothing. Even if the information is not as interesting, I'm not going to spruce it up with lies, just, you know, in hopes that a few more people will watch. But it's been proven by other people, in my opinion, that she has done that. Also, the fact that she's been sued so many times. You know, Todd Chrisley has been on TV for like 10 years or something. He has, you know, all kind of magazines and YouTubers talking about him. Why is it that these celebrities start paying attention to Katie? Because she's 100% attacking them. It's because she's saying things that is not true. She's going after their family. She's not just your run-of-the-mill YouTuber covering a celebrity. She takes it way too far. Now, a lot of things she will delete, or she'll do it on her Instagram. Like, she keeps her YouTube a lot more cleaner than, say, her Instagram. But yeah, I know a lot of people that watch her don't understand. And, you know, I said at the beginning of this, I'll probably have someone that is a KJ follower, that's a fan of KJ, say that I'm just being jealous, that I'm just a negative person. Oh, you and Katie do the same thing, so why are you attacking her? We do not do the same thing. You watch my channel, watch 10 of my videos, and then just go look up. Or watch 10 of Katie. She's just, or watch her on Instagram. She's a lot different on Instagram. But I'm not mean to the people that I cover. I don't attack the people that I cover. I don't dig, like, into all this stuff. Exactly, Denisa, exactly. You see, when I worked at the finance company, because I used to manage a finance company called World Finance, and we used Pacer. And it says you are not to use this in a malicious way. You're not to use the information that you get from Pacer as a way to, like, bully, attack, or anything like that. You can access the information, but you're not supposed to use it in the way that Katie does, and she does. And you can, oh, you're very welcome, Carmel. There's links in the description box below. Check those out. It'll tell you what she did to me. She literally attacked a woman that lost her daughter, and the woman was in the chat, you know, and said that she had lost her daughter, and Katie attacked her and was like, how dare you come to my channel trying to get sympathy? This is about me. Katie was talking about her son and what her son had been going through, and Katie literally said, has anybody ever been in the ER, you know, waiting, and your child be in the back being worked on, and you don't know if your child's going to make it? Does anybody know what that feels like? And this lady said, I'm so sorry. Yes, I know what it feels like, and I'm praying for you. And someone in the chat said, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that. How did your child make out? Is your child okay? And the person said, no, unfortunately, I lost my child. And of course, the people in the chat was like, oh no, we're so sorry. We're so sorry to hear that. Katie got so mad and like attacked that woman. It was like, how dare you come in here and make this about you? This is not about you. Now everybody's telling you they're sorry. Like, those videos are out there. Like, it's out there of her literally, she attacked a lady that was autistic. The lady asked Katie, like, hey, if you don't mind, you chewing the M&Ms is kind of like triggering me. Can you, like, back up or something? I don't know. Maybe she asked Katie not to do it, and Katie went on the attack, which, you know, if somebody come here, and I was eating breakfast a while ago. Sean made me breakfast because I didn't even eat nothing this morning. I had to take my son to football, and then I had to go get him from football. In the middle, I was trying to get ready. You know, if somebody was to come in here and say, oh my goodness, you're eating disgusting, can you please not eat? I would probably be like, I'm sorry, I missed breakfast, you know. But no, she straight up attacks people. And the thing, though, about it even more so is that she has a son that's autistic. She says everybody in her family is a little autistic. That's what she said. She said, I think me and my husband are a little autistic as well. And she said the reason she don't eat with Todd most of the time is because she can't stand to hear people chew. She said, I eat in my office most of the time because I can't stand to hear people chew. But then she's on lives throwing M&Ms and popcorn in her mouth and chewing all up in the, I mean, it's like, you know, and somebody said, hey, Katie, like, can you please chill out on the M&Ms? Like, your chewing is really, and she went off. I mean, she just went off on that woman. Caroline Ironwheel is the woman's name. And Caroline did a video on it to explain, like, hey, you know what? Oh, and Katie said, oh, you better not go watch no mukbangs. And Caroline said, like, no, my time is precious, and I spent my time watching you. If I wanted to watch mukbangs, I would, but I can't because I'm autistic, and chewing is something that I can't deal with, you know, seeing someone chew like that. So you would think, considering that Katie has a son that's autistic, and she claims she's a little autistic to the point where she can't sit with her husband and eat dinner, that when someone said, hey, can you not chew all up in the microphone, she would say, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Yeah, let me back up a little bit or something, you know. So it's just, there's a lot of stuff out there. Anyone that's really curious, just, you know, go to YouTube, put in, I have links. I have like 6 or 7 links down there that talks about the things that she's done to me, how I handle them. I also have Without a Crystal Ball versus Without a Crystal Ball's channel, and go watch all her videos. It's not someone on there talking, telling you how you, why you shouldn't like Katie, or telling you what Katie did. It's videos of Katie doing the things. You know, all that channel is Katie. That's it. There's nobody else on that channel. So, sorry, gotta get in the middle. But thank you, babe. But we're gonna go ahead and end this live, you guys. I'm gonna come back in about 30 minutes or so. Mama June and Pumpkin, you guys, they are going head to head. So it looks like Mama June and her husband, Justin, they've been on TikTok a lot. And recently, Mama June and Justin started saying some things about Pumpkin and Alana and Dodo that got Pumpkin, Alana, and Dodo fired up. So I know that Justin was on a live stream on TikTok, and someone said, hey, Justin, did Pumpkin have twins? And Justin said, I don't know if she had twins, and I don't care if she had twins. That's one thing that got Pumpkin fired up. Something else was that Mama June said that she pays Pumpkin like $1,200 a month, and that she pays for their Netflix and their Hulu and all of this. And that Dodo was calling paparazzi and selling stories. And the reason Dodo was getting diapers for Pumpkin was because Dodo gets the diapers for free. So literally, I have clips. Thank you so much to, if you're on here, I have a follower who sent me the clips because I didn't actually catch it, but I had a follower send me the clips of Pumpkin and Alana. First, it starts off Pumpkin and Alana on a live stream, and they're talking about what Mama June and Justin are saying, and they're calling them out. Pumpkin's like, oh, heck no, you didn't. And the only reason, you know, you pay child support is because you were forced to. You didn't want to. There were reports that June and Pumpkin worked this out together, and Pumpkin's like, no, we did not. June fought me the entire way. And then there's a video where Dodo joins them as well, and they all start talking about it. So we're going to do a live stream where we watch those clips of them. Also, Pumpkin gave my channel a shout out on the stream when she was on TikTok. She told people to go watch my channel to watch my interview with Jordan McCullum. I don't know if Mama June is, but it's been reported. I know Jordan McCullum did say that before he moved out of the house that he was sharing with June, that he dug around in her bedroom. I guess maybe he has suspicions, and he found, according to Jordan, he found some pills and he found some meth, and he called June and asked her, and she said it wasn't his. So he said, I'm going to call the cops and have the dogs come over here and search this place. And June essentially told him, you better not. So I don't know, you guys, but we will be back in about 30 minutes. YouTube is not the best at sending out notifications. Follow me on my social media accounts because I do post on there before I go live. I usually post on Twitter, I'll post on Instagram, and I'll post on my Facebook account. All of the links are in the description box below. I'll schedule it as well, so make sure you're subscribed. Your bell is rang. Have it set to all, so hopefully if YouTube's going to send out the notifications, you'll be notified. But I will see you guys in the next one. Yes, thank you so much, Tina D. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.